Hey boys, I'm Luke and welcome to the Hypnos channel, the only YouTube channel that educates you on your Hull City Football Club. For more Hull City content, make sure to subscribe, and without further ado, let's hit the pitch. Alright, first off boys, I'd like to thank you so much for the 28 new subscribers, bringing up my total to 33, and for smashing my first video with 200 plus views. Thank you boys, and let's do the same on this video. Also, before I begin, I'd like to address the Tom Eves concerns that a few of you have had addressing my past comments on Tom Eves in my first video. First, I'd like to say Tom Eves has played 32 games with us with 5 goals and 1 assist. Alright, I know a striker's not supposed to have too many assists, obviously. However, 1 assist, and he has 5 goals. As our leading scorer, that's a problem. I mean, Tom Eves is horrendous. Okay, I don't want to say horrendous, but Tom Eves is bad. I mean, 32 games with 5 goals. Josh Mangus is better. Keen Lewis Potter is better. James Scott is better. Martin Samuelson is better. I'd rather play any one of them. Okay, maybe Tom Eves would compete with Martin Samuelson a little bit, but Keen Lewis Potter deserves the start against Birmingham next Saturday, and Josh Mangus should be the one coming on to replace him if Grant McCann looks down the subs line for a striker. Not Tom Eves, and Tom Eves should not start this next game. If he does, I'm going on a rant in my reaction video and analysis video of the Birmingham game next Saturday. Alright, also, if you guys want me to do a preview for the Hull City Birmingham game next Saturday, let me know in the comments, as well as if you guys want me to do a live stream for the Birmingham game, let me know in the comments. Alright, let's get into it. So today, I'm going to be talking about the Hull City transfer news, rumors, and some of our key departures that have left us recently. Right off the bat, Florian Kamberi, a striker and center forward who plays in the Scottish Premier League. Now, like I said in the last video, I don't care what striker we bring in, whoever it is better than Tom Eves. I promise you that, is better than Tom Eves. Now the question is, can whoever we bring in as a striker, if we bring in someone, I beg we sign someone, can they compete with Keen Lewis Potter, and are they better than Keen Lewis Potter? I personally think Florian Kamberi is better than Keen Lewis Potter, and if we sign him, he'll be in the starting 11 in the first game, and here's why. He's a 25-year-old striker who plays for Hibernian FC, which is located in Edinburgh, and he plays in the Scottish Premier League, the first tier. He's got 26 appearances with 4 goals. So if you match up the appearances with Tom Eves, he's got the same amount of goals basically, but he has 5 assists in 26 appearances. So he gets assists as well as goals. He may not score as many goals as I would like him to score, but he has the amount of assists that he can provide for other wingers or attackers from the midfield who are coming to support him. So he can get assists to Malik Wilks, Josh Bowler, John Terrell, Leo da Silva Lopez, all these other players, James Scott, all these other players who will be much better than who he's playing with at the Scottish Premier League. So his assist numbers will go up, and he still scores the same amount as Tom Eves. So if we sign him, if we pay that transfer fee and agree on wages with him, he'll definitely be in the starting 11, and I'll be over the moon. I'll be ecstatic because, like I said, any striker we sign is better than what we have in Tom Eves, Josh Mangus, and Martin Samuelson. Keen Lewis Potter is above the rest, but I still think Florian Kamberi is better than him. His market value is $660,000 according to transfermarket.us. So obviously, we all know our transfer budget has decreased with each year that we spend in the championship, and the fact that our owner does not want to spend any money. But Grant McCann has shown a willingness to spend money in these summer transfer windows, in these winter transfer windows. And we know that if we can definitely put together this amount of money because our transfer budget is around 1.5 million. Realistically, and it'll continue to go down. So $660,000 we can put together and buy him, which would be a great purchase for the club, and it'll definitely raise our stock. And if he was with the club right now, we'd definitely be set for this relegation fight ahead of us. However, at the time being, we are in trouble with this relegation fight. But I believe avidly if Florian Kamberi was playing instead of Tom Eaves this entire season, we would not be in the same position. All right, moving on to the next transfer rumor that we've been linked with, player that we've been linked with, is Isaac Karamoko. He's a right wing for PSG, and he's 18 years old. So he plays in the PSG Youth Academy, and he's got one appearance for the UEFA Youth League. He's got no goals, no assists. However, he's a highly touted youth player with several big-name clubs sniffing around him. Like, lots of teams are interested in Isaac, but the main teams are us and Reading. Reading is really interested in him, and his contract goes up June 30th. So 8 days from now, his contract is up, but there's still an option in the contract for PSG to sign him for another year. So if we want him, we could get him on a free transfer, but he'd have to choose us over big name teams in the Premier League and in the French Ligue 1 league, and he'd have to choose us over Reading. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I'd choose us, and especially I'd choose us over Reading. So there's a definite possibility that we could get Isaac. Isaac would not be in our starting 11 right away, or in the reserves or the bench right away. He'd spend time in our youth academy, but he'd be one of the top youth academy players along with Jacob Greaves and Max Shreve for us. So he'd be one of our top players in this youth academy. So if we could get him, that would really bolster our youth academy, but it's more of a long shot than us signing a feasible 25-year-old like Florian Kamberi who can help the team now. Moving down the list, we have Scott Fraser, center mid and center attacking mid. 25 years old, plays for Burton Albion in League 1. And his League 1 stats are in 30 appearances, he has 5 goals and 11 assists, plus 4 goals and 3 assists in other competitions. So he's proven he can get the ball in the back of the net. And he's a born facilitator. He's got 11 assists in 30 appearances, plus 5 goals in League 1. In other competitions, he's scored goals and assists. So if we could purchase him and plug him right in with John Terrell and Leo da Silva Lopez, that is a top caliber championship midfield. I promise you, all right? You may have I hesitated when I say it, but you may think I'm joking, but that's a top tier championship midfield. Scott Fraser, ability to facilitate and score goals, along with John Terrell, who played pretty well against Charlton. Obviously, he was coming off injury and layover, so once he gets back in the groove, he'll be very, very good, along with Leo da Silva Lopez. Did not play against Charlton because of an illness. But if we have him against Birmingham, we'll have a much greater chance of pulling away some points from that game. So if we have him the rest of the way, along with Scott Fraser and John Terrell next season, this is a midfield that can compete with anyone. The problem is if we get relegated to League 1, we won't be able to keep these players or sign new ones. John Terrell could be out the door if we go to League 1, and we definitely won't be able to sign Scott Fraser if we get relegated. That is why it's so crucial that we stay in the championship and we hold on to the meager transfer budget that we have. But if we go to League 1, that transfer budget is gone. I can promise you the only people we're signing is on free transfers and low wages. Anyways, Scott Fraser would be a great signing to us. Once again, 5 goals and 11 assists. I would love to see him in a Hull City uniform. Next up, we have Alexander Milivojevic. That's definitely a handful to say. He is a Swedish center back, 28 years old, and he's a free agent. The last club he played for was Nottingham Forest, but his contract was up and they did not renew him. His market value is about $900,000, but since he is a free agent, we only need to work on his wages. So that is something that definitely can fly with Grant McCann. The only problem is, as I said before in my last video, my reaction and analysis of the Charlton Athletic versus Hull City game, our defense is pretty good. Our defense is up there with some of the other championship teams in top tier defenses. We have Jordi de Wijs, who's a very good center back and our captain. He's been playing well. Reece Burke, who wasn't in the Charlton Athletic game, but is another of our starting center backs. He's very good. And Angus MacDonald, who showed even after a 2-year layoff from injury, he is a very formidable center back who can play in the starting 11 and is a great center back coming off the bench. As well, we have Jacob Greaves in the youth academy who is coming up and is growing as a player and can develop into a great center back. So the issue is we don't need a center back. We need a striker like Florian Kamberi. We need a center attacking mid or a center mid like Scott Fraser. We need to bolster this youth academy with players like Isaac Karamoko. We need these players, and Alexander Milivojevic is more of a last tier option, all right? He's if some of these players don't pan out or if we only get one signing. Then we turn to Alexander, and I would like to see us get him, but not at the cost of not signing Scott Fraser or Florian Kamberi or Isaac. So he's definitely someone to keep an eye out, but I'd rather sign these other players I've mentioned because they're for positions of need and they're flat out better players. So I've talked about who we could bring in, who we've been linked with, and I would love to bring in these players like Florian Kamberi and Scott Fraser. But we also have to mention some key Hull City departures. So this is definitely something I wanted to talk about in this transfer news and rumors video. We've had 4 key departures in the past week, all on the same day, I believe. So with coronavirus, we had to extend some players, and some players we did not extend, so they will not play for us. Eric Legit, right back, 30 years old, American. He was our old captain, and he was a starter. He's a very good defender, but he was injured quite a lot for us. He's a very good defender. When he's on the field, there's definitely a less chance of the opposition scoring. That's been proven when he's in appearances. And the fact of the matter is Matthew Pennington is not as good as him. So it would have been very valuable to have him in this relegation battle because against Charlton, Matthew Pennington definitely got beat on pace by a couple of the Charlton wingers. Obviously, that's to be expected with the coronavirus, but still Matthew Pennington was an issue for us. He's 30 years old, so I'm okay letting him go to some extent if it would open up the opportunity for a younger player to fill his shoes. But Matthew Pennington, however, he is slightly young and a right back and center back. He is on loan from Everton. So I'm not too okay with giving up a quality defender and filling him with someone who won't be with us permanently and he's on loan. So this is a medium scenario. I'm okay because he's turning 31 soon. However, it does hurt our defense, and the fact of the matter is Matthew Pennington is not as good as Eric, and he's on loan from Everton. Next up, we've got Jackson Irvine, center mid and center attacking mid. Jackson Irvine is an alright player, not good, not too bad. He's a good passer, 27 years old, but the big problem is 35 appearances with 2 goals and 1 assist. If you're a center mid and a center attacking mid, you need better stats. We talked about Scott Fraser. He had great stats, 5 goals, 11 assists. I understand that was in League One, but still, he was way better statistically than Jackson Irvine with 2 goals and 1 assist. The problem is you can't see the pitch if you have 1 assist as a center attacking man and only 2 goals in 35 appearances. So I am not concerned about him leaving. The only problem is bodies. We're going to have to fill that role on the training pitch and in the reserves because Jackson Irvine would be brought on and would start some games, but the production just wasn't there. So I'm okay with him leaving. Next up, Stephen Kingsley, left back, 25 years old. Stephen Kingsley lost the job to Callum Elder. He lost it in preseason, in the training ground, and throughout the season. Only 8 appearances, no goals, no assists, but that's to be expected from a left back. The problem is defending. He's a decent player. However, Callum Elder flat out beat him out for the left back job, so I'm not concerned about him leaving. The only problem is, once again, filling that body. So we need a backup left back, and hopefully we can address that through the youth academy and fill the role of a backup left back or right back through the youth academy. So I'm okay with Stephen Kingsley leaving. The only problem is about 3 years ago, I believe, we signed him for upwards of $3 million. So I'm worried about the fact that we paid so much money for him and he didn't pan out. But that is the story of some Hull City signings, right? So I'm okay with Stephen Kingsley leaving. And finally, Marcus Madsen, center attacking mid, left mid, and center mid. He had 22 appearances with 9 goals and 6 assists in League One as part of Peterborough, and then he was loaned out to us. He's a very good player. I personally like him a lot because he gave us versatility and he could score and assist on numerous occasions with Peterborough, and he showed flashes of that with us at Hull City. So I'm a little sad and disappointed that he's leaving. However, his loan was coming to an end, and there wasn't too much of a possibility of him signing with us as Hull City. Obviously, we were his loan team. However, he did play for Peterborough, and he played really well. So they wanted to re-sign him, and lots of other championship teams were looking to sign him as a highly touted player. Once again, the problem is we aren't able to fill his versatility. However, Malik Wilks, my personal favorite player on Hull City, is better than Marcus Madsen in my opinion, and he plays the same position. So I'm okay with letting him go as long as we activate Malik Wilks' loan to buy clause. I pray to all the soccer gods in the world that us as Hull City finally do something right and activate Malik Wilks' loan to buy clause. He is arguably one of our best players, arguably the best player on our team, and he's our best attacker. The fact of the matter, at right mid, he's our best attacker. He plays well. He's a young player from Barnsley, and I pray we activate that loan to buy clause. If we do, I will make a video out of celebration and go crazy, absolutely crazy. My personal favorite player. I hope we activate his loan to buy clause. All right, that brings it to an end for Hull City transfer news and rumors and key departures. Key notes, hopefully we sign Scott Fraser and Florian Kamberi and activate Malik Wilks' loan to buy clause. So, like I said in the beginning, let me know if you want me to do a live stream of the Birmingham versus Hull City game, and let me know if you guys want a preview, a video preview about the Hull City and Birmingham game where I'll go over what Hull City needs to do to win. So let me know in the comments all about that. And up here, I've put my first video and the last video talking about the my thoughts and reaction to the Hull City versus Charlton Athletic game, which we lost 1-0. And right here, you can click here to subscribe to the only Hull City channel that gives you news and facts and reacts. And make sure to subscribe to the fastest growing Hull City channel on YouTube. All right, boys, see you later. Thanks so much.